Hello and welcome to the KNGNetwork.com Bath County Coaches Show, brought to you by St. Joseph Hospital and the Owensville Banking Company. I'm Philip Smith, and I'm here with football coach Reed Fields and two other players. I'm here with
Garrett Vinegar, Senior.
Garrett Vinegar.
And Griffin Bradley.
And Griffin Bradley. We had a big game last week, Coach. Got a W on the list. What do you think we brought away from our game last week?
I just felt like the atmosphere was different. You know, we had a bad experience the first week, felt like we wanted to redeem ourselves, and the guys came out and had a great week of practice. You know, we were really physical from the first snap, and I think that's going to be a key for us this year because we have a team that's capable of being physical, and I felt like West is a quality foe, and they put up a good fight there the first half, and I think our physicality wore on the second half. And we were able to get a running game going and rush for right at 500 yards. Garrett had 309 on 20 carries, I think, and 3 scores. And just defense played so much better. I know Coach Crouch worked to simplify the scheme a little bit this weekend, Coach Baldwin. And I think the kids were really comfortable out there and were able to play and not have to think a lot. And you could just see the difference in outcome. Being able to hold that bunch to 12 points. They had a lot of, they're a well-disciplined offense, and Coach Brown does a great job with his kids. And they're going to make you play disciplined defense, and that's what we did. So.
Yeah, well, Wes Carter played some tough ball. What'd you take away from the game, Garrett?
It was a whole lot. We stepped up last week. We had a tough loss, and we just came prepared to play this week. We brought that physicalness, that toughness, and we got it done from the start. I think we played decent all the way through. So.
I mean, great.
Same thing Gary said. It's like we were a totally different team coming up there.
What do you all see? What do y'all see going into this next game this week? Playing Lewis, y'all see anything that you can take away from last week's game that you can improve on in practice this week until then?
We have to stay physical, remain physical. I mean, football it's a physical sport. It's tough. That's why you wear pads. So every week it has to be the same thing, same amount of physicalness, same amount of toughness. Mental as well. Mental is game's probably 90% mental. So.
I think we're playing really well as a team right now as far as, you can hear it all the time and talk about it until you see it in action. You don't realize how important it is, not caring who gets the credit. And I think everybody on the team, even on our scout team that didn't get in the game, well, everybody got in, but even on our scout team that maybe weren't a star that night, realized that they had a part in Garrett getting 309 yards and scoring those 3 touchdowns. And we don't care who's getting it done. As long as it's getting done, it's a W for the team. And that's what you got to have to get to the level we want to get to. You can't be worrying about me, and it's about the team, and the team has to come first, and they're starting to do that now.
I've been out here with these boys, and I've seen them practice, saw them play the Gritterama. Seems like the players have good football IQ. Is that something that, like, they understand the game well enough that they understand how to play? Is that something you're instilling into them, or is that something they're coming to the game just years of playing younger ball and things like that?
Well, I really think the majority of our players do have good football IQ. We have some that really maybe don't watch the game as much, but they've been playing. Our community has established a great youth program from kindergarten through 2nd grade playing flag football. Our 3rd and 4th grade teams in junior pro, and our 5th and 6th grade teams in junior pro, and then our middle school program. We're all on the same page now. And I think these 2 classes, this junior and senior class, were the first group to actually go through a flag football program. So I think that's got a lot of it, and they're teachable, and we can coach them up on the fly. And it's not something we have to spend 3 weeks to implement maybe a new scheme on offense or a new scheme on defense. And they do understand the game, and they understand the importance of fundamentals, and they're really focusing on that now. If you get the big picture, you really work on the details, and that's what matters.
Now, you guys watching the film as a team, was there anything you all saw you could definitely improve on based on last week's game?
From a defensive standpoint, I think maybe up front, from our film, we can point out a lot of mistakes, and
we pick on them pretty hard.
Yeah. Defensively, we always have room to get better, and offensively, we're always working each week. There's always little things here and there that we can improve on every week. Film, we have a big emphasis on film just to watch it and improve. A lot of teams, they're going to show you their vulnerabilities on film. So every week, it's film study, get in there and just learn it.
Anything particular?
Anything you're seeing out there that's just something that you saw that you all work on the team together? Or?
We can always be more physical. Lewis County, they're a pretty tough team. play lots of match football.
And we're going to have to match that this week. I think last week we had a problem with, from a defensive line standpoint, a few times we let the quarterback get outside on contain on defensive ends, and they were tempted to go in and try to bite on a play fake, and we really stressed that this week. And I think, we'll be there mentally this week. And it's just it's an effort thing, but they're going to use it against you when you're too aggressive on defense and you're trying to play something that's not your position. That's the key, getting these guys to trust in themselves and knowing, well, if it goes there, he's going to make that play. That's not my area of the field when you're playing gap responsibility defense. And good teams are going to take advantage of that and counter and get you out of position. But we're going to work on that. We've even made a few not personnel changes, but switches in those people to positions we feel like suit them better. So.
How's the injury list looking right now? Anybody out right now hurt?
And I credit that to the lifting these kids did in the off season and conditioning. We're to a point right now where we've got, I think, one injury, and he's going to play this week. So, you're going to have bruises, you're going to have bumps. It's football, but we've been to this point in the season before where kids didn't do what they're supposed to do, and we had 3 and 4 players out, and it's just critical. The only problem I saw last week, we had about 3 kids cramping up, and they've got to take care of themselves as far as fluid. And, you can't start even now. It's almost too late. You got to start as soon as the game's over, as soon as practice is over every day.
Got to stay hydrated.
With that heat, you have to stay hydrated because we got to keep it on the field. And we're to a point now, depth-wise, we can almost play 2 teams without, a separate offense and defense. We got 11 different guys on offense and defense without losing any talent. And that's where you have to get to be able to compete down the road. So.
You told us in our last show you had a new player come on, becomes a team and everything. How's the team actually transitioning with both new players and then playing out there with the field looking better than it ever has, feeling better than it ever has? It's a new year for the team. How are they transitioning to be that new team for you?
Yeah, you're talking about new players. I think DJ's fitting in well. He's wanting to play football. He brings that physical play that these guys are talking about. I mean, he goes 110% every play in practice, doesn't matter what it is, to the point where we've almost had a confrontation there. He's running a pump back with shoulder pads and helmets, and he makes a move and runs into one of our players, and they kind of took that to heart. But you're going to have that. That's just football, and we've worked through that. But he's anxious to play, and conditioning was a problem last week, and hydration as well. So he's been conditioning hard. Even though he had all of his days in to the KHSA, you still, it's hard to match when someone's had 15 days conditioning versus 10. So he's working hard on his own, and you're talking about the field. That's just something that it was immaculate. I don't know if you guys didn't get a chance to see it, but
I actually saw
you can go look at it now.
It's just amazing. Letters are great.
We spend a lot of time on it, and hats off to Mr. Shannon Caldwell and Stuart Caldwell and R.O. Caldwell Construction for the time they put in and all the volunteers helping on that. Just, I don't think any college team would be disappointed in playing on that field. And these guys came out and their eyes lit up that day when they saw it. So it just brings a different attitude. Even the other team, when they play, their level's going to step up when you step out on the field like that.
Gary, it's your senior year. You're playing, it's hard up there, and hard your senior year, I know, because you hate to leave the field, but how do you think senior year's going so far out there? You enjoying it? You feel like a team?
I am enjoying it. I mean, you have to, senior year, you want to go out and make the best of it. So, we still got a lot of games to play. A whole lot of seasons left to be played. 1-1. I feel like the loss against Fleming, we just let that behind us. We just started 0-0, and we played an excellent game last week. So, got to keep it up this week and just keep rolling. We have to take game by game.
Rick, what do you think about you on defense right now? Where do you think where you need to be, where you getting there?
It's hard to ever be where you need to be, but I think we're finally starting to step up enough that we can play most teams and keep our physicality to us. I think we're doing pretty good right now. We can always be better.
Looking at Lewis County, how they played this year, do you both think the defense will hold up against them right now? The way you played so far, you think the defense is going to be a problem?
Yeah. Lewis, from Phelan, I've seen they run a lot of stuff in between the tackles, try to smash them out. And our defense, they'll play physical right back. So
we should be all right as long as we can keep our tone.
I feel like we match up pretty well between the tackles.
How's Clark doing throwing right now? How's the throwing on them?
He's, Clark's always going to be ready to throw the ball. Our receivers, we've got 7 receivers that can catch it, I think, with anybody in this part of the state. But we're trying to get a win last week, and we knew that they were going to try to take away the passing game. And, the running game was there, and this fella can tote the rock. I mean, you can see that last week. And then we've got other backs as well that had some long runs. So we're going to take what you give us. If you come out and you put 9 in the box, and you better be ready to cover the pass. And if you come out and you spread the field on us, you better be ready because we're going to get physical with you. So, that's what the game is. When you get to the level where you can do both and you can adjust, then that makes it a tough team to prepare for each week. So, we're confident throwing or passing. We really don't care from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, they're going to propose, or they're going to give us a challenge this week because they're real physical, and they're going to try to smash us in the mouth, and then they're going to spread you forward wide, and they've got about 3 or 4 formations they go with how to spread, and we've had to look at all those this week, and it's a long trip up there. We just got to get our mind right. We've had a great week of practice to this point.
I know you've got 7 receivers, and I know you've got a good defense, but how's your special teams looking right now?
I can't brag enough about Sean Harris on special teams last week. I think it's a school record. I have to go back and check. I know since I've been here, we had 5 extra points in one game.
6 of 6.
Ironic, it was at Lewis County. He had 5 out of 5 up there one year, and last week at home, Sean Harris kicked 6 out of 6. And I mean, that's at any level, that's pretty good. High school especially, you don't see that a lot. And he's worked really hard, and can't be happier for a kid who's a senior, and he really wanted a chance to kick. Last year, we didn't score enough to get him many shots at it, and we were always behind trying to go for 2. So, special teams, Coach Crouch and Coach Baldwin worked to put in a little more physical special teams. We kind of either kick onside or pop it up in the air, and we're just destroying people. And I'd hate to show that to if I was playing us, I'd hate to show that to my front line, what we did to some of those kids. It was physical. I mean, you got to have it strapped on, I'm going to tell you, because they're bringing it on the kickoff.
Yeah, I know they played pretty rough lately. They're out there playing football.
Yeah, and we've decided if we can't cover kicks any better than we did the first week, then we're going to kick it short. We're going to make them feel it. So, we'll try to work where we can kick it, but we just don't feel confident enough now kicking it deep, so we're going to make you feel that thing, take some contact.